welcome to all the listeners. And today we are going to review and burble about Only Murders in the Building Season 2, Episode 2. So the fun continues in this episode named Framed. And here we learn the history of Arconia, when and by whom it was built. We also learn a little bit about Charles's father and more about Bunny. And we are also introduced to some new characters and how Bunny passes on the torch of board president to a new character named Nina Lynn. Rena, what did you think about this episode?
Oh my God, was anyone else freaked out about the reason why they built those secret passages in the apartment building? I mean, I was a little bit disconcerted about that living in an apartment building myself.
But I feel like, isn't that like the charm of an old building or a building in New York? Like, I know that they gave a little bit of history that it was built in 1904 by an architect and playboy named Archibald Carter. But I feel like that's the character of the building, right? It's spooky, it's a little bit disconcerting, but it's also like so much fun to discover all these like little secrets about the building.
For a show, it's great. I wouldn't want that in practice, but let's talk about some of the new characters that showed up. Leonora Folger, played by Shirley MacLaine. Oh my God, hilarious.
I know, that was so amazing. So I think a little bit of her story is that Archibald Carter, who was the architect, he settled in Arconia after his marriage, and his daughter is Leonora, who marries Mr. Folger, and then their daughter is Bunny Folger. So yes, like Shirley MacLaine, she is so amazing and lovely, and I really hope that we get to see more of her.
Yeah, she played that part so well, and the little nuances. I mean, it's very endearing and funny at the same time. And I liked her as an actress before this show, so that made it easy. But I just found her so refreshing. So I love when they introduce new characters that add something to the story, and like more mystery without like a kind of a obvious, all right, she's not a suspect here, but she's got something to do with everything.
Yeah. And speaking of new characters, Leonora was having an affair with Charles's father. So his father is also, a new character that's introduced, and we see a little bit of his history in flashback scenes. He's going into the building opposite Arconia for audition and then getting arrested, and no, not many other details, not too much other details, except that Charles says that he was in jail and he was drunk, and then he died when Charles was very young. But yeah, it's we also know that he had an affair with Rose Cooper as well, which I'm sure we're going to talk about more.
Yeah, I think we don't know what Charles's father was up to, and I hope that they go more into that. Something's there. Why he's in the painting, what he did, how that story intertwines with the current day. There's definitely something there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, did you notice that on the back of the painting, where it's written "Savage," like you can't tell, and they don't say it, but there's the year written on the back, and it's 56. Now, I'm guessing that's 1956 is probably the year where in which the painting was painted by Rose Cooper. That's when it was created. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, there's like a 56 under the Savage, which I'm sure that I hope that they get into it and explain a little bit more. But yeah, that painting, when they discover it and when they flip it, that's when they discover the writing.
Well, they flipped that painting because the whole storyline there was Charles, Mabel, and Oliver were trying to get that painting back into Bunny's apartment, and they
Yeah,
couldn't, and they
yeah.
left it by the trash, and then it ended up being in Amy Schumer's apartment, and then they chase after it, and Lenora basically goes and looks at it and says it's a fake.
Yeah, yeah, it's her who figures out that it's a replica, or rather like a reproduction, and then she kind of gives the reason of how she knows that. But yeah, it's her who figures that out.
So why would there be a fake painting? To me, that's something big.
Yeah, that is interesting. And again, I feel like we have so many theories about, who could be the killer and what happened to Bunny and, like all these other little plot lines around the murder mystery. But it's too soon. It's like too soon for theories. It's only the second episode. We don't know most of the stories. We have not met a lot of characters. Yes, we have met new characters, but not a whole lot. So yeah, I feel like in the season in the first season it was, I think, around 7 or 8 episode when we really like got like these clues about who the killer could be. So I think we may have to wait till then.
I think it's fascinating. Everybody has a role to play, and it's not apparent all the time what that is. So I feel like they may introduce someone later. We may already have seen who the murderer is. There may be multiple evil people in season 2. I mean, Mabel starts a relationship with Alice. I don't know Alice's background, but I think there might be something there. I mean, they introduced that with Charles and I can't remember her name from the first season, but his love interest turned sour.
Jen.
I mean, maybe Alice is part of this too.
Yeah. Yeah, so you were wondering about Oscar, right? Mabel's boyfriend from season
Yeah.
1. So in this episode, yeah. I mean, here she says that now they're just friends, and that's how, Alice, the new romance, is kind of introduced. But I do like Cara Delevingne, the actress who plays Alice. I love her eyebrows. Like, I wish I had that, like, thick set of eyebrows. She's amazing.
I think, I mean, I haven't run across anyone who isn't playing a great character. Even those side little bits, like I can't remember what her name is, the woman selling the gut milk.
Oh, yeah,
And
Ursula.
all
Ursula.
those, yeah, those minor characters, they have a part to play. The only thing I will say is the police were not resurrected back in this episode 2, and I expected that. I expected them to come knocking and asking more questions, but you don't see sight of them.
Yeah. But speaking of some of the existing characters, like, I want Howard to be my neighbor. Like, he is so innocent and, like, desperate to make friends, and he's so amazing. Like, I really want him to be my neighbor. Or rather, I want to be his neighbor.
I don't think he's that innocent. I think he's strange, and there's something to his story. I don't think we've figured that out yet.
I really hope that they don't kill him off at the end of this season and be like, oh my god, next season is like solving Howard's murder mystery. Like, I want him to be alive.
I guess we won't know that, but
Yeah.
maybe eventually everyone's targeted in the building.
Yeah. And again, speaking of existing characters, can we also talk about how they're still using the Demus dipping sauce, even though the Demuses are charged with murder? Like, when they are going up to Bunny's place, they, like Oliver has like like containers of Demus dipping sauce. I love that they're still using that.
I do too. Didn't Oliver say that's pretty much all he eats? Or did I mistake that?
Yeah, that's his meal of a lifetime. And yeah,
Well, I think you see these little bits of season 1 in there,
yeah.
and they stick it in, and some are more apparent than others. But I do love those little flashbacks. Even some of the comments are back to season 1. So
Yeah.
it's not like starting from scratch. So I do feel you should probably see season 1 to get these like little backstories.
Yeah, absolutely. Can we talk about Mrs. Gambellini? She's passed on to Oliver as per Bunny's will, and I think it's towards the end of the episode that she eventually reveals that she knows who did it, which, like, I'm so psyched about. And yeah, now we just have to kind of wait for the next episode. But she's so cute, Mrs. Gambellini.
Cute, funny, although annoying too.
Yeah.
I really wonder if she's gonna spill the secrets. I mean, that bird repeats things, so who knows what it knows and what it's gonna say.
True. That's very true. So, what did you think about the very pregnant Nina Lynn, who's sort of taking charge of the building and she's becoming the new board president, but nobody kind of really likes her?
She seemed nice, even though I think Howard was saying, if you think Bunny's a bitch, wait till Nina. But she seemed fine, and I mean, I think we're going to know more about her character later, but she didn't show herself off in any real negative way to me.
Not in a negative way, but she definitely does not have Bunny's charm. Like I feel like Bunny is, is sort of like, this badass, like harsh person, but she still is like a little bit charming. I feel like Nina Lynn is shown as very like strict, very New Yorker, very like she wants to, kind of take charge, and I'm hoping that she kind of does a good job, because Bunny so far has been great as a board president. Like she knows a lot of stuff and she takes care of everybody. So I really hope that, Nina can fill in the shoes.
Maybe she can. I feel like that character is so real. Like I've met a few Ninas in New York. It's just very well played, and
Yeah.
I don't know what her overall stamp on this will be, but it'll be fun to kind of see what she does and how she does it.
Yeah, yeah. It's so hard to find shows nowadays that are so authentic and fresh and brilliant and just funny. And this show is all that and more. And I am very surprised. I'm still very surprised that in 30 minutes they managed to unpack so much in each episode. And I just like love every second of this show. I really can't wait for more.
I can't either, and it's been years since I've been so involved in a show to kind of wait for each episode. But I can't help myself here. I love all the characters. Everything's so funny, witty, well written. It's really one of the best series I've watched in a really long time. And okay, I got to ask you, who's your favorite out of the three? I'm loving Oliver in this second season. He's just hitting all the marks for me. Like I can't stop quoting him.
I mean, I feel like that's a very tough question for me, because all three of them have their own charm and quirks and, likes and dislikes and things like that. But yeah, I don't know. It's really tough. Like my favorite, I would say, would have to be also Oliver, because he's sort of like the quirkiest of the three of them. Like Selena is like so like she's a millennial, and she's kind of always like getting on their cases about being old, and just teaching them new things and all of that stuff. And Charles is just like, I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like I feel like I'm an Oliver. Like if you were to ask me what character I am such an Oliver. So I guess Oliver.
I think he's just someone like you want to be around.
Yeah, yeah. There's never a
He's
dull
so
moment with him.
interesting.
Yeah, never a dull moment with Oliver.
Well, I think that's it. What do you guys think of this episode? Leave your comments below. If you like our content, please remember to hit the like and subscribe button. Until the next episode, thanks for listening.